Welcome to Demystify Magic with Molly and Madison.
I'm Molly, a former skeptic turned full-time energy healer and teacher.
And I'm Madison, a born and raised witch running my family's crystal shop.
And we're here to explore all things woo through the lens of both science and spirituality so that you can find the moments of magic in your everyday life and create an intentional spiritual practice.
So if that's what you're into, find a cozy spot, take a deep breath, and let's demystify some magic.
Howdy doody, friends.
Howdy doody.
How we doing?
We are still in the thick of eclipse season.
We really are. We really are. Full transparency.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Yeah, we had to record 2 episodes today, so we're coming at you hot right off the bedroom episode, and maybe you are too. Maybe you're binging this series along with us, and if you are, hello, hi, welcome back.
We missed you.
Missed you
in the 5 minutes that we haven't been recording.
Today we're talking about mundane magic for the office, your temple of focus and vision, my favorite room in the house. It may not be in your house. It may be, you have like an office or just like wherever you work is kind of the vibe that we're setting here.
Yeah.
Like how you can cultivate a space of focus, of clarity, of vision, ideas, etc., and how you can keep your freaking desk clean.
And if you would like to pre-order the book that all of these wonderful ideas have come from, Mundane Magic, written by the one, the only Molly Donlin.
Me.
You can order it wherever books are sold, or I might be a little biased, but I do know of 2 little metaphysical shops called Spellcrafter and the Healing Hedge Witch, where if you pre-order from us, you will also get a ticket to a live virtual book tour event with Molly and I. I'm going to be asking Molly all of the behind the scenes questions. We're going to take questions from the audience. It's going to be really fun. We're going to giggle. We're going to yap. Highly recommend.
It's going to be great. I can't wait.
You get to support a small business.
2 small businesses. Me and you.
2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Oh boy. Before we dive into the office, what was your magic moment?
My magic moment is that I finally did 2 things like for work that I've been struggling to get together.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 products live on the website that I have been like hemming and hawing over doing and like not doing correctly or well for months. I finally have the link live for our virtual sew-in ritual at Spellcrafter and our Wheel of the Year Sabbath subscription.
Woo!
So it's a candle subscription service where every 6 weeks we send you our house-made Sabbath spell candle. So it ships out like 3 weeks before the day. So you have plenty of time to get it, burn it as the energy kind of grows, have it on the day, and then we start it all over with the next one. And it's something that I've wanted to do since we opened the store, and it's been 18 months.
Love it.
And I finally got us there.
Love it.
And the level of satisfaction that I felt in that moment, chef's kiss.
So good. So good. Just in time for our Sabbath series, which is coming up on the heels of this series.
I know. I am so proud of myself.
I'm so proud of you too. I was like, wow, we can make that segue every episode.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. I'm so excited. Highly recommend. My favorite candles are from my good friend Madison. So you should try them.
Hee hee.
And you can ship internationally too, right?
Yes, I can. The timing, I can't be as what's the word I'm looking for?
Predictable.
I can't be as sure about timing when it has to go through customs.
Yeah.
And so that is something that, it's like a little bit of a gamble. I've never had a package take 3 weeks to get somewhere, which is why we chose that timing.
Knock on wood.
But if you are an international customer, it just might get there a little bit closer to the day for you.
Yeah. Cool. Love that.
What was your magic moment?
I'm cheating and sharing my magic moment. I think we literally sat here and I was like, did I talk about this? And Madison was like, you definitely talked about this. But then I looked at the calendar and I talked about it on Akamom on our Patreon exclusive podcast, but I did not talk about it on the main feed. So here I go.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Cleveland.
We get it again.
For an event. And I got to go to MGK's coffee shop, Machine Gun Kelly's coffee shop. And I know. I've seen all your comments. I know you're not fans of Machine Gun Kelly. I hope we can still be friends.
Molly literally texted me. She goes, "Is everyone mad at me because I like Machine Gun Kelly?" And I was like, "No, I think that you are really like deeply making this something personal, which is why you're so upset at me when I kill him in the Fuck, Marry, Kill. No one else sees it as personally as you do.
Okay.
It's just a preference."
I want you to know that my hyperfixation is starting to wear off, and now I feel like an appropriate level of appreciation for this person.
She says while wearing merch from the coffee shop she's about to talk about.
Okay, I just
How many dollars is that to Planned Parenthood? I think you have to match the purchase.
Oh my God.
No, I'm joking.
Oh God, because that's...
Now I just love the bit.
I love the bit too. And I love that everyone else is in on the bit, because like I literally posted a screenshot of our podcast on Spotify the other day to my stories because someone asked a question, and like 5 people clocked that I was listening to MGK's new album, and they're like, "Oh, another $1."
Oh my God. Thank you guys. You guys are doing the good work.
I have donated over $100 to Planned Parenthood since we started this bit. So honestly, and I donate it in honor of MGK. So there's like some intern collecting those donations going like, why the fuck are there all these like
What's going
small
on?
bill donations coming in for MGK?
For MGK.
Oh.
Like, what is going on here? No, I love it. It's a good day to be Planned Parenthood, I'll be honest. It's
It really is. It really is.
Well, really bad in all other areas. But
Yeah.
really good to be a person who works for Planned Parenthood who listens to this podcast.
Okay, if you work for Planned Parenthood and you listen to this podcast, like slide into our DMs, because I want to know if anyone has seen the in honor of MGK donations. Anyways, I'm not here to talk about MGK. I can't believe you forced my hand to do that.
Yeah.
I'm here to talk about the coffee shop, and not just because MGK owned it, but because, so if you've known me for any length of time, I manifested a coffee shop by my first apartment in Portland, Maine. It's called Little Woodford's. I named my dog after it. Woody's name is Woodford. That's his full legal name. Because I just fell in love with this coffee shop and fell in love with the owners of it. And I was like, literally, they called me Norm because I sat on the counter like in Cheers and just like knew everyone. Like people would walk in and I would know them and I would know their names. And I just spent so much time there. And it was millennial pink, and it was just very cutesy, and it was very well branded. And I just love this space. And I'm still like dear, dear friends with the owners and like people who work there. And they closed, was it like a year ago or 2 years ago? I don't know. I feel like time doesn't make sense anymore. But it was very, very sad. It was a very sad day. I actually made them their own like Little Woodford's Oracle deck for their closing. So I
remember that.
Yeah, I took like photos, and I made like a whole guidebook. Like I made a whole fucking deck and like laminated, like had to find a laminator. It was so fun. And then just like spent the day doing readings with people. It was very cute. So anyways, I have not found a replacement. Nothing will replace that shop, but I haven't found anything close. And so when I walked into this shop in Cleveland, that was millennial pink, that had Supreme branding, that was playing the Magic School Bus on one TV and Friends on another TV, and just had like the most delicious matcha and the most friendly staff. I was just like, oh, I'm home. Like I didn't realize how much I missed that kind of atmosphere in a coffee shop. And so it's not even like that it was MGK's coffee shop. Like that was cool. That was very cool. I will say it was very cool. But like even if it wasn't, I think I still would have loved that coffee shop. And the best part is I went with Chelsea, friend of the podcast, Chelsea Joelle from Conscious Seed, who's my astrologer. We met in person for the first time, and we've been friends online for like 4 years, but we never met in person. And it felt very full circle because I don't know if everyone knows this, but Chelsea and I met through a mutual love of a podcast. And so it was just cool to like see like we met because of this podcast, and then we became friends, and then we became like, you know, business partners. And then she came on our podcast, and that like you all fell in love with her. And then I got to meet her at MGK's coffee shop, and like it just felt like a very cool full circle moment. So that's it. I'm not going to mention MGK for the rest of the episode. I know you don't like him, but just like give his new stuff a chance. Okay. Like give his new stuff a chance. I know he was like, I literally told Madison, I watched his documentary the other day, and I was like, this did not make me like him more. Like, I think he was kind of an asshole up until like probably a year ago.
He does give like, I do think like, I don't think I've ever really listened to his music, so I couldn't tell you if I like it or not. But I do think that most talented people like that are deeply unlikable. So I'm not surprised. You know, like it's just not, like you can only have one, I think.
Yeah.
That's why we're such bitches.
We're the MGK
Anyways.
of podcasts, is what you're saying.
Yeah. We're the MGK of witches. We're like, oh, I channeled this episode through the Akashic Records. Now let's get to channeling about The Office.
Oh, zing, 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 zing. All right. Our mantra is, my work flows with clarity. My ideas are sacred. My future is unfolding. You could take any one of those or all three.
Yeah, pick your poison.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to talk about The Office because I feel like it's such, like we were talking about last episode, it's such a work in progress for me right now because we're actually kind of like restructuring the idea of like what we do with the house and turning our guest room into like a space that's still functional for people to stay with us because that's really important to us. We have a lot of friends who like live in other places. Molly, almost all of my college friends live in Atlanta. My mom, she lives like an hour away. So sometimes she stays with us, like stays overnight when she comes to visit. You know, like we still want to be an accessible space, but also have it be a space that is useful outside of those times. Because it's like, what, maybe 2 weeks out of the year that we have someone sleeping in that room. And outside of that, like it just, we don't go in there.
Yeah.
And so we want to turn it, and it's bigger than our office. My house is technically a 3-bedroom, but you've been inside my office. It's like maybe it could be a nursery. Like a twin bed could fit in here, but that's like about it. Turning the guest room into like a witchy space, meditation space that like has some of the stuff that we like maybe don't want the animals able to get into, like want to be able to shut the door and like keep it private, but also like have it be like a more multifunctional space, and then have this room be like just where I maybe do the podcast. And so I don't have a lot that I do in here. And so I'm interested to see, like, I don't work in here very often, like, or like, you know, like magically I regular work in here, but it's like kind of a shit show.
Yeah. And I'm the opposite. My office is my magical sanctuary. Like, this is where I do my meditation. This is where I do my yoga practice. This is where my altar is. This is where like everything, all of my resource books are, all of my crystals, like this is my witchy haven. I can't imagine having just like an office that isn't also a spiritual space.
Yeah. Anthony has a room in his apartment that's like very much like that, where it's like a very witchy space. And we've been like, I've been going over to his house to get work done when we were teaching that tarot class, whatever, like I would just go over there and we would hang out in that room. And I was like, I need to have something like this. And so I've been looking at like fold out couches that are actually comfortable and trying to like figure out what the vibe is going to be in there. Because one thing about Anthony and I is we have what he calls gay audacity, which is just that where he believes that he can do anything. And I also have that level of audacity where I'm like, oh, surely like bigger dummies than me have done it. And so at one point he was like, you should buy a Murphy bed. I'm sure we can install it in your house.
Dude, one of my Sims died from a Murphy bed the other day.
Rest in peace.
I'm just saying, I don't know if that's realistic, but
glad we're not taking that option. I found a much easier option, which is that they make pull-out couches now that are not like weird and horrible.
Yeah, I was going to say like maybe a futon.
Yeah, a futon perhaps. But I have friends with kids. So like I also still want it to be a place that like, you know, kids can stay.
Yeah.
I just really, my goal in life is to be like fun Auntie Madison. So I've got to like really keep that. Because like imagine going and you get to go sleep in fun Auntie Madison's witchy room.
Oh God.
On like and you get to jump on the couch bed thing. Oh you know, like
God,
that's fun.
I can't wait to sleep in Auntie Madison's witchy room.
Yeah, you have to call me Auntie Madison when you're there.
We've really lost the plot already.
What else is new? This is all this to say, I have very little to contribute in the office category. So I'm excited for you to educate me.
Okay. I have tied this to Mercury.
Okay.
Because I always think of like Mercury as like the workhorse, like Mercury, Workury.
Sure. Whatever you say.
It's also tied with communication though, right?
Yeah. And so that was what I was going to say, is that the communication piece is what makes a lot of sense to me, especially like if you work in sales or anything where you like customer service, anything where you have to like talk to people a lot.
Emails, Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So again, when we talk about the office, this could be like in your home, wherever you do your work. Maybe it's not an office, but maybe it's like a, painting studio, like wherever you do your work. Okay. It could be like not in your home. It could be in your car, on the go, like wherever you do the majority of your work. We're calling that your office for now.
Yeah. I even so I used to work at a cosmetics counter in a Dillard's when I was in college. I even had a space, like if I was thinking about like where have I done this in the past, and when you work at a counter, there's like a little kind of counter like in the center, like there's a place you can't really go anywhere and not be seen, but there's like a space that like has the computer on it, whatever, that like customers can't get to. That would be the place that like I would, if I had crystals with me, like I would set them right there and I would create like a little altar in that space. So you really can, like, these are things that you can kind of do anywhere, even if they're like spaces that feel public. You can find those like private spaces, you know?
Yeah. And for me, I'm thinking about like when I was a consent educator, I used to go from school to school to school. So I literally did not have a space and I would keep crystals in my socks or in my pockets. Yeah. And so that was my like option, or in my work bag or in my car or, wherever.
So feel free to like, take
in
these ideas and sub in, make them work for your work environment.
Yes. I also said office as the element of air, which I feel like air element in the office is different from air element in the bedroom. And now I'm rethinking it. Do I want to go with air? I was going with air because of the mental connection.
Oh, air feels really like it makes a lot of sense for me for in here.
Really? Because I'm thinking the opposite.
Because it's so logic.
I know, but pentacles.
Yes, but I guess like pentacles, that the money aspect of pentacles feels like a smaller portion of earth energy as a whole. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you're right. I feel like it plays
a
larger role in tarot because that's like such a human thing that we ask about.
But financial security is so root.
So true.
Financial stability is so root. Like often our routines and rituals revolve around work. Our work schedule dictates our sleep schedule, dictates our eating schedule, which is all very root, which is all very earth. Yeah.
Another place where this can be very interchangeable.
I think it depends what kind of work you do. That's what I'm going to say. Because like if you have a very creative work, I think you would connect more with the fire element.
Exactly. Yes. And like if you, I would imagine when you were a consent educator or someone who's a therapist, they work more with the water element.
Yeah. Or if you're using your brain more, like more logical, like, analysis, kind of big picture thinking, I think air. Yeah. So any of the elements will work for this space. It really depends like what element ties most to what you do.
Yeah.
Okay. Love that. I love that as a cop-out.
I love a good cop-out. One thing about me, love to cop out.
For chakras, I'm also going to say it depends on what you do for work. But the two that I think are kind of universal are the throat and the solar plexus. Yeah. The throat, because I don't know a single job that doesn't involve at least a little element of communication. Yeah. Whether that's like communicating with clients, communicating publicly, communicating with colleagues, communicating with a boss, communicating with yourself if you're an artist, right? Like it involves some form of communication, which is going to be throat, and then solar plexus for like empowerment, confidence. Like I think working with the solar plexus is my recommendation anytime you're looking to move up in the workplace. So get a promotion, get a new job, get a raise, any of that is very like solar plexus work because that's where your power, your confidence, your willpower, your self-esteem all comes from there.
Yeah, totally. And then for crystals, we've got fluorite. This is great for focus, clarity. I find it to be a super ADHD friendly stone. I keep it in my bag, literally. So I have been in a place right now too where like, this is probably because my office is such a work in progress. I have had to get out of the house at least twice a week to get some work done, especially creative work. I feel like and also it's the puppy of it all. Like I'm, it's hard to focus on anything that's not puppy. puppy got a lot of shit to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep a piece of fluorite in my bag and I go to this like tea and coffee shop that I need to take you to. As you were talking about going to MGK's coffee shop, I was like,
that's $1 from
I need to
Madison.
take her.
That is $1 from Madison, folks.
Not my hyper focus, but I will still do it regardless. When you were talking about like, oh, I love millennial pink, I love a good branding, like I love a cute environment, I was like, oh, we have to go to Blush. I go there like once or twice a week. And I bring a piece of fluorite that like it sits, like it stands up. It's not just a tumble. It's like a little rough piece, whatever, with a flat bottom. And I set it on the table next to my computer.
Yes.
To help me focus. And it lives in my bag where my laptop lives. So whenever I'm working, like it's close by. Huge fan of fluorite. But we also have pyrite, which is great for confidence, great for manifestation, and really good for productivity.
It's good energizer.
Yeah, and it's, it's a money stone.
Money.
It's called, it's great for work in general, especially if you're like a server or anywhere, like in like a tip environment.
Or sales.
Yeah. If you're a tour guide, perchance, good to keep some pyrite with you.
Always wanted to be a tour guide. Can I just tell you?
Oh, you would be an excellent tour guide.
I know. When I worked with the elderly, I used to write bus tours for them. I had a themed tour every month that like I would have the driver take us out and I'd be like, and over here, folks, is where the Underground Railroad started. Like, I had themes for every month. I had like famous men of Maine for like the Father's Day tour. Like famous women of Maine. And then I had like an Underground Railroad tour for Black History Month. And then
that's incredible.
I had a ghost tour for like Halloween season.
Like, obviously, you were not meant to work in a retirement home for the rest of your life. You were meant for much more, but also you were made for that job in like a very specific way. It's so funny.
Honestly, when I left that job, I was like, do you think I could pitch these tours like to different retirement communities and just go in like once a month and just do this fucking bus tour? Because I loved it.
I wish you had. That's so funny. Okay.
I had a pride tour. I had a holiday tour. Like I kept all the scripts. So if anyone in Maine wants to bring me into their retirement community, do a tour.
And only to their retirement community. We won't like.
Yeah,
she'll take nothing else.
It's a very specific niche.
Oh my God, I can't. And then lastly, we have Tiger's Eye for mental balance, courage, and decisiveness.
Yeah, Tiger's Eye is my favorite for decision making. If you work in retail and you struggle with spending your paycheck where you work, carry Tiger's Eye.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that.
It's my go-to. Like if I'm going shopping, I always bring Tiger's Eye because I am an impulse shopper through and through.
Yeah. Something to help. And because it's also like a super grounding stone.
Super grounding, good for relieving stress, good for bringing in balance, and most importantly, helps curb impulse spending.
Love.
And
something I was thinking about too with like the idea of connecting to the house spirit here is that the office is a really great place if you've been developing that relationship in these other rooms as we've gone through them. The office is a great place to ask for support.
Oh, I love that.
Like if you are struggling with focus, if you're struggling with decision making, if you're struggling with confidence, if you're struggling to just like get started, tell your house spirit what it is that you want to work on, especially if you have dreams of a creative project, if you want to start a podcast, if you want to write a book, if there's something that you're like really looking to do that is, like work adjacent, but is not a part of your 9 to 5, like a thing that kind of requires your own little bit of like get up and go to get it started. Ask your house spirit for support in that.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, that is so good. I was going to say like sometimes when I'm working in my house, I was just talking to one of my students about this because this came up in a Reiki attunement, but one of the signs for me that energy is coming into alignment when I receive Reiki, like when I go for sessions, is the house settling. Like I find like I have a healer that I see regularly, and she pointed out to me that every time my energy clears something, there's a creak in her house. And I've noticed that over the years that I've seen her is like I'll feel the energy release and then I'll hear the creak every single time.
Wow.
And so I was thinking like you could work with your house spirit by like having it send you signs when you're on the right track for a project or whatever. Like
I love that.
let the house creak or whatever. And then it becomes like those noises are no longer annoyances and distractions, and they're more like helping keep you on focus too.
Yeah, they become affirmations. I love that. That's really beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. I will also say too, like if you are struggling with like focus and things, the biggest tip that this healer taught me is that it's hard for us to come into alignment when our space is not in alignment. So just like bringing your papers on your desk into a neat pile, or like if you have a crooked picture frame, bringing that back into balance can help shift that energy enough to bring us onto the right path.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's a really great point.
Super, super easy. Anyone can do it. You could do it right now while you're listening to this.
Immediately I wanted to. I was like, what's out of order?
Yeah. But that's my go-to if I'm ever like staring at a blank page, whether that's, something I'm writing creatively or just an email or whatever, and I feel stuck, I just shuffle the papers on my desk. If I have a book that's askew, I will re-skew it. And usually I'll be able to get started after.
Sick.
All right, let's give you some magical chores you can try. So in the book, I have a whole section. The office chapter is like one of the longest chapters because originally it was like multiple chapters. I ended up combining it. So originally I had like a chapter on financial chores and a chapter on like digital chores. And we ended up combining them all into the office to make it make more sense. So there is like a whole section on like abundance rituals and like job promotion, things like that. We're not going to go deep into that here, but just know if you are interested in that, you could pick up the book. But that could be like a whole episode in and of itself. But we are going to talk about sort of the kind of ways to kickstart your work in the office or get things done that you maybe avoid. So the first is managing your to-do list. And I really love to use color magic for this.
Ooh, yes.
So I specifically love to use, I'm a pen and paper to-do list girly, and then I'm a put it on my Google Calendar or it will not happen girly. I love a time block. And so something I have really started doing is writing my to-do list and time blocking my calendar based on the type of energy I need to perform the task. So like things that are going to take a ton of mental energy, I put in red. Things that are going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy, could do it in my sleep, green. Right? Things that I need to talk to people, a meeting or something, blue. Things that are going to help me feel grounded midday, like lunch, I like to do in black. And so I write my to-do list out by color, and then I put them on my calendar by color, and I look at the overall week and I see like, okay, this is really, really red dominant on this day, and then followed by a huge blue day. Like, will I have the energy for that? Where can I shift some things? Or where can I add in more black? So more things that are going to bring me grounding and re-energize me so that I can move through this day. And my biggest tip is do not leave the things that will ground you, balance you, and ultimately nourish you for last. Put those in first and put everything else in around it.
Or like sprinkling it through. Like that's what I do is I'll balance out one really mentally demanding task with a grounding, nourishing.
Yes.
Like a fills your cup task.
A
Something
little
else
treat
too,
magic.
A little treat magic is something that's been really game changing for me in like the last 6 months is recognizing things that are not quote unquote in my job description that are what makes me do a good job at things and putting those in my to-do list as if they are work tasks.
Yeah, like what do you do?
Meditation, journaling, any kind of magic that I want to be doing in the day, especially like on days that we're recording. There are lots of things that are not in like our job description of recording or in my job description of managing the store, things that fill me up and make me a better teacher, better boss, better friend, better business partner that need to like, they are just as important in my to-do list. Yeah. And I used to see those things as like just fun bonus add-ons. But when your job, especially if you have a forward-facing job, if you talk to people, if you manage people, if you're in front of people, like seeing those nourishing activities as a part of your day and
Mm-hmm.
not like, ugh, and I have to do this too. Like somehow I have to find time to take care of myself or whatever
Yeah,
it is,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, those are all your work tasks.
Yeah. I know how hard this is because I'm so bad about it, but I am a lunch skipper. I
Mm-hmm.
hated clocking out for lunch. I hated clocking out for breaks. I would rather work through the day and leave earlier. And
Yeah.
without a doubt, I would get home. I'd be exhausted. I wouldn't want to move. I would have no energy. I'd be grumpy. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're right. Like throwing those things on the calendar is the only way that I will do them. The other thing that I do is I put my magical tasks on my calendar because out of sight, out of mind. So I have a task the first of every month. I cleanse the spirit and consciousness of my business.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like some form of abundance ritual,
Yeah.
whether that's like refreshing my money bowl or whatever. Like I throw those spells on my calendar, and those are in permanent ink. Like they're not flexible.
Yeah.
And especially if you have a job where you have some flexibility, like I'm thinking of like, you know, when I worked at a grocery store, it was like, okay, well, I don't know what my schedule is next week. I don't know what my schedule is going to be. It's like, okay, can you frame it around like before work, this is what I do. This is my ritual to get ready for work. And after work,
Yeah.
this is my ritual to release the day from work. And at lunch, this is my ritual. This is what I'm going to bring with me to recharge me. Like finding those ways that work within the context of your job, no matter how inflexible it is, are a game changer. And it could be simple. It could be like, okay, when I get to work, I'm going to park. I'm going to take 3 deep breaths, feel my feet on the floor, and grab a crystal and put it in my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Done. Like easy peasy. When I get home, I'm going to cleanse the day by changing my clothes. Easy. And so like finding whatever way works for you is the key.
Yeah, totally. I think just making them non-negotiables is like the most important part.
And then we always inevitably get asked, like, how can you cleanse your workspace without smoke? Because, you know, many of you work in offices, you don't work from home. You need to be able to cleanse that space. And so one of my favorite ways to do this is through meditation. So I do have I think I have one on my YouTube video. I have an energy cleanse for spaces YouTube video meditation. So you could use that. But ultimately, like I love to do this with Reiki. Like I literally teach my students, you can hold the space between your hands and send Reiki energy to it to clear out any stagnant energy, anything that's not supportive to you. But you can also just do Reiki on yourself or an energy clearing on yourself and really fortify your energy boundaries, because even though you can't always control the energy of the space that you're walking into, you can control the energy that you bring in. And the stronger your energetic field is, the less likely other energies are going to permeate that.
Yeah. And I have an idea that I don't know if it's actually like allowed. So
Okay.
this could be useful or useless. But I'm thinking about like, we get a lot of questions about cleansing spaces where flame is not allowed. And so again, this could be wrong, but I'm assuming that if like the flame is the problem, if you have a candle, maybe it's a candle from Spellcrafter, I don't know, like our banishing candle, if you're looking to cleanse a space, could be fun. Putting it under one of those like lamps that, you know, like it just heats the candle,
the heat
melts
lamp.
the wax, throws the scent, but
Yeah.
there's no flame. I think that would be allowed in an office, but I don't know where you work.
It really depends. Yeah, I had a strict no scent policy at a lot of my offices.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But at the retirement community, there's always creative ways to do it. So I was an activities director, and we had like a particularly rough winter, like a lot of residents passed and just like a lot of turnover in staff, and it was just bad. I literally hired a sound cleanser as like an activity for the residents.
Amazing.
And put them in the center of the building, which opened up to the 3rd floor, and we cleansed the space. Like,
excellent.
And my boss was literally like, we had the best sales month ever that month, and like everyone was happy. He's like, we gotta bring that guy back in. We brought him in over and over and over just to keep the space clear.
Good. I love that. That's incredible.
Yeah. But also you can like make a saltwater spray and spritz it in your office too. That's another one.
Yeah. You could do the same thing with Florida water, just like a little bit in with that water too, like so it dilutes it.
Yeah.
but keep the energy the same.
Love that. Yeah. I love when I'm going into like spaces with other people. I love to use Florida water like a perfume. So I will like literally use it like a cologne. I guess that's why they call it that.
Yep.
So some deep magic, full moon, deep clean your desk or your computer desktop.
Yeah.
Yikes.
This is something that I've started doing with regular. I have to do it more than every full moon.
Yeah.
Just because I do be downloading files, but cleaning up my desktop, getting rid of the files that I don't need, putting it's always our fucking podcast audio files that I just let sit there for months and months.
Oh God. Yeah. I have every single one we've ever recorded. Like no wonder my storage is full.
Yeah, but like putting those, either deleting them, trusting that they live in the Google Drive and that's okay, and that I'm not going to need that one-sided audio file that's just me from 2.5 years ago. We're going to live deleting it or moving, like, you know, putting it in a folder. Like, put it in the Demystify Magic folder, Madison. That's why you have it. Why do you have the empty Demystify Magic folder and then 500 files outside of it?
My problem is all the screenshots that I take of things. I probably have 100 screenshots every full moon that I'm just like, why? Why didn't I just, why?
Delete it.
Yeah.
Delete it.
Yeah. So do that with your desk, with your desktop. And then the other idea that we had, if you want to do like more of a deep magical ritual, is to do a cord cutting with toxic coworkers or jobs.
Yeah. If you are someone who takes your work home with you, this is a great practice for you, because it's not saying like, oh, especially like, it's not, you know, you don't quit your job every full moon if it sucks.
Some of us do.
But, well, I mean, you could, and listen, more power to you. I love that for you. But if you are in a toxic work environment, once a month going through and releasing the energy of others that you've held on to, and then calling back the energy that you've given to situations that you don't need, is a great way to ensure that that job doesn't burn you out or take more than it already is if you're in a shitty environment. So it's not to say like, oh, end those relationships.
Yeah,
you know, like if it's people that you have to work with, just taking stock of like, hey, where am I developing energetic ties that I don't want?
Yeah. Yeah. And that could look like a traditional cord cutting with candles and string, or, you know, the toilet paper cord cutting that we talked about in the bathroom episode. Or it could be lighting a banishing candle. It could be taking a bath, a cleansing bath with that intention. Like there's so many different ways that you can do this, whatever feels right to you.
Yeah. And then the new moon, that's a great time to do that job hunting. If you're in a situation that you don't want to be in, it's a great time to try to get out of it. Submit those applications. It's also a great time to ask for a raise or do promotion spells.
Yeah. Refresh your resume, refresh your LinkedIn, like whatever that looks like for you, that prepares you for the next stage of your job. Or if you're starting a business, right? Like write down your goals. How are you going to achieve those goals? Like reflect on the past month. Like how have things progressed? Where can you change? What is working well? Where are you putting your energy that is maybe not working well? And doing that kind of reflection.
Yeah.
And then for the solstice or the equinox, this one I'm so excited about. Change your passwords.
Change your passwords.
But make them affirmations.
I love this idea.
Have we talked about on the podcast how I accidentally manifested my husband with my email password in 5th grade?
That's the day that we both realized that in 5th grade we had crushes on people with the same name of the people that we would end up building lives with.
Right. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Right. That was weird. Yeah. So make your email password an affirmation. So like maybe your banking password is like, I am rich. And, you know, the A is an @ symbol, and you could put a 1 for the I or whatever, like write it in leet speak like we did in the early aughts. Which is such a weird sentence. Like in 20 years, people are going to be like, the fuck did she just say?
What does that mean?
But basically like subbing in symbols and numbers for letters is leet speech. I don't know if the kids know that. Do you know that?
I don't know that term. Okay. I know the practice.
Leet, L337. Don't look at me like that, okay? I feel so old already.
No, we didn't call it that. It was just like, that was just typing. That was just internet typing. I think I just called it like internet speak. But I love this idea. I'm so bad about changing passwords. And I remember I used to work at a Walgreens when I was in high school. And I was a cashier, right? Like I had no sensitive information. I just could get into the computer, ring people out, and say, have a great day. Thank you very much. ID them if they were trying to buy cigarettes.
Yeah.
Why did I have to change my password every 10 days?
Oh,
and I could never remember, like, or not never remember. I could never, like, it reached a point where I was like, well, what the fuck do I use now that I haven't used before?
Oh my God.
So it's such a great practice if you, and it probably wasn't actually every 10 days, but it felt like it.
Yeah.
And now I go to a Walgreens specialty pharmacy for my medicine, and they're almost always, like, I'm almost always having to wait because they have to change their password. And so I always am like, oh, girl, I feel you. 17-year-old me was running out of things to say quick.
I will tell you, when I worked at the retirement community, we had to change our password. I think it was like every 30 or 90 days. I would change my password to the most annoying resident's name. Followed by the number of our like location, because it softened me to them. Because if I had to write, you know, Betty Drew's name or whatever 17 times a day, Betty Drew was in my awareness. And every time I would just say, like, I'm so grateful for Betty Drew. Like, I would just say, like, smile.
So
I would smile to myself, like, oh, that's Betty Drew, like, blah, blah, blah. So if you have a coworker that is really annoying you and you have to change your password all the time, change it to whoever's annoying you the most.
That's hysterical.
Yeah. And on that note,
I think we've done it.
Okay.
Love you. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Demystify Magic with Molly and Madison. If you want to learn more about us, you can find all our links in the show notes.
We'd love to know what you think of today's episode, so drop us a review or give us a shout out on social media. And don't forget to let us know your magical moment of the week. Okay, love you. Bye.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Psst, healthcare pros, word's out, and it's too good to keep quiet. Look, LinkedIn is revolutionizing job hunting, making it possible to search by specialty, shift preference, and salary. Endless scrolling is out. Whether it's a mental health therapist or dental hygienist, finding the perfect role is faster and easier than ever. Head to linkedin.com/healthcare and start your search today.